Hi folks, Bayfin here, and I'm gonna give you my initial thoughts on the game Avowed. Avowed released 2 days ago, and I had a chance to play it from day one, so I thought I'd just do a quick run through of some of the things I discovered in my first 4 hours of gameplay. Starting off, the game is beautiful. The rich colors, the huge saturation levels, the artwork, it's pretty fantastic. Overall, it's a good go, at least from an artistic point of view. The opening sequence, again, it's static images with a few moving parts. It's not really like a CGI opening scene, at least not initially, which is okay. I don't mind a game starting out this way. It seems to be the trend right now, and if it saves a little money that they can put into some other areas, well, I can't really complain about that too much. So overall, the design aesthetic is pretty pleasing. So the artwork is really good. I don't know who the illustrator is yet, but I'll see if I can find out. Character creation is solid, but the characters all suffer from pretty much the same thing every game is suffering from right now. The characters just aren't that pretty. And with the addition of coral on your head or whatever else these things have, yeah, not real pretty. If you're wanting to make a real looker of a character, yeah, it's not going to happen. But it's not too bad. It's about on par with maybe Skyrim, with the graphics being a little bit softer, a little bit more edges. But it's just something about the eyes and the shape of the head just isn't visually as pleasing as some of the past games, even games like 10 years ago. The game starts pretty solid. Mechanics are pretty good. Nothing groundbreaking. There is absolutely nothing new in this game in terms of stuff that you haven't seen in other games. Now, it's executed very well. Okay, the mechanics of movement, the fighting mechanics, they're solid. So overall, it's a pretty solid game. The visuals are great. The terrain, it's gorgeous. These lizard guys seem to be the main baddies so far, at least within the first 4 hours of the game. Not necessarily what I would call over challenging. Certainly not on the level of some past games. Enough to keep it going. I'm just playing on the normal level, so I'm not playing on any of the advanced levels. So I'm sure it gets harder as you go. There is the ability to upgrade equipment. Story is unfolded through a little bit of character interaction, but a lot through notes and stuff. Combat is solid. The archery is good. It's not quite as satisfying as, say, archery in Skyrim, but it's pretty good. Magic is done pretty well. You can only really run 4 spells at any given time. You have to have a grimoire with you to have those 4 spells. But they're good. The animations are great, and they're pretty effective. As a matter of fact, I generally run with a grimoire in one hand and an axe in the other, just to make sure I can get the best of both worlds. Character interaction's pretty solid. It kind of runs along some of the past things we've seen from Obsidian. Characters fill out the center of the screen for the most part. The conversation selections are not all that satisfying. And I'll get into this a little bit later, but conversations that really kind of guides you in the direction it wants you to answer. It's not what you yourself wants to answer, it's what the game makers want you to answer. And that is really where some of my problems with the game come in. Inventory is pretty good. Nothing groundbreaking with it. You can upgrade weapons, you can upgrade armor, you can cook, you can make different recipes to improve health and focus. Overall, it's a pretty simple system. You just have your health bar and your focus bar. That runs your health and your magic. You have stamina, and you can run out of stamina, and that will slow you down, which creates problems in combat. One of the things I did like is you can actually aid your fighting through some of your conversations. So like in this case, I talked this big blue guy out of fighting for the bad guys, which lowered the number of bad guys I had to face by 1. So that overall was kind of a neat little, side result of the conversation. And it happened again later on in the game. I was able to do it again in another combat situation. That part of it was, I thought, pretty satisfying. But like I said, overall combat, once you have the mechanic of it down, it's pretty much hit, back up, hit, back up, hit, back up, hit, back up. And you just keep doing that until you win the battle. And that includes the boss fights. And you'll see a boss fight here in a little bit. Questing is, satisfying for the most part. But again, there really isn't anything new here. Other than the terrain, other than the locations, and the color palette. The color palette's really awesome. There's not anything here we haven't seen in another game. But you know what? It wasn't meant to be groundbreaking. This game was meant to kind of fill in the gap of the Skyrim crowd. And you know what? For the most part, it does it. It's an entertaining game. I'm having some fun with it. For the most part, I don't find anything objectionable in it. Now, I know what you're going to ask.
Is it woke? Is it woke?
Is it woke? And the simple answer to that is yes, it is. But it's hidden in the game for the most part. It definitely comes out in the conversations. So yeah, it's there. Here you see one of the boss battles taking on the Dream Thrall Elder Brown Bear. So again, it's hack, back up, reposition, come in, hack, back up, reposition, come in. It's a little bit different from bad guy to bad guy, but it's basically the same thing over and over again. Just wear it down. Make sure you've got enough potions and essence to take on the bad guys, but as long as you're well stocked and patient, you're going to win. For that part, it's okay. Like I said, this isn't Skyrim. It wasn't really, I don't think it was really meant to be Skyrim. I mean, maybe initially it was supposed to be the Skyrim killer, but it's not going to do it. It's not going to be big enough. But the writing is pretty solid in it. When you get to the story elements in it, there's really nothing bad in the writing. Not like some other games that we've seen come out recently. You got games like Once Human, where the writing feels like it's been written by AI, and a bad AI at that, or it feels like it's a really bad translation from another language. This isn't that. The writing's pretty solid. I keep using that word, but it's true. The writing's good. The characterizations are good. The voice acting's good. Overall, it's a fairly good game, and I don't think you'd be disappointed in playing it if you're just looking for something to kind of fill in the gap. Now, is it worth the price point that they're charging? Maybe not. But I'm playing it on Xbox Game Pass. It definitely worth it that way, so if you've got that as an option, then yeah, absolutely play it. That said, I will warn you, if you're, a fairly conservative religious person in the real world, there might be some things in here you take offense to. Some of the choices in conversations are clearly trying to guide you to a more liberal solution to your problems. In that respect, yeah, it's definitely got a woke edge to it. One conversation that I had after the recording of the video, little bit of nuance in the liberal options, zero nuance in the conservative options. So it's very clear which way the developers lean. I don't know if it'll get worse as we go into the game, but we'll certainly find out. Overall, my impression of the game, it's pretty solid. It's entertaining. As long as you don't let the story elements really, fire you up, you can kind of find some entertainment in the game. Is it going to blow your mind? No, not really. But is it going to be fun? Yeah. If you like hack and slash games, then yeah, it's fun. And it's certainly worth it on Game Pass. I mean, it's free. So give Avowed a try if you're on Game Pass. I don't know that I'd spend $60 on it. I'd probably wait till it goes on sale. Maybe once it gets down into the 20s, then it might be worth it. Or maybe, 15, something like that. But I wouldn't say, boycott it. I wouldn't say don't play it. Just be aware of what's in it. And be aware, if you're ultra conservative like me, there's going to be some things that might be a little bit triggering. But you know what? I'm a conservative. I don't get triggered. So, you know what? Too bad. I'm not giving you my money anyways. It's all going to Xbox. So, I'm going to play it, enjoy it, have some fun, move on. Okay, that's my initial impressions. We'll see you next time.